Okay, so it was what, November 23rd, 1963 that Kennedy was assassinated, right?
22nd.
22nd, okay. And you've got photos of, you know, like here's him laying in state. This is at the Capitol. This is the funeral. Are you in this picture somewhere?
I don't know. I think I am, but I don't know where.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I see on the next picture.
I see Bobby Kennedy there.
Yeah.
I'm back in here somewhere. It's not important.
Okay. Yeah. So what are they doing here? Moving the casket from
to the burial
site. Okay, to Arlington Cemetery. All right, and then here's a picture of
John saluting it.
Yeah. Well, and here's you. So this is the casket being moved.
Yeah, this is me. Casket coming out of St. Matthew's Cathedral after the funeral.
Okay, so this is after the funeral. Okay.
That is the funeral. And then John came down, and that's where he saluted the casket.
Yeah. All right, so another powerful picture. Oh, here we go. So this is...
That's the picture of the agents assigned to President Kennedy at the time of the assassination.
All the agents assigned, okay. And I should be able to pick you out here. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, it's alphabetical.
Yeah, okay. So this is a picture of all the agents at the time, and there's Dad right there. Okay. All right, so let's talk about, there's a lot of, there's been movies, there's lots of theories about the assassination, some conspiracy theories about the involvement of the mob, about the involvement of the Russians, about multiple shooters. Kind of, let's go back to the assassination. So you're in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
How did you hear about it?
Radio.
Really? Mm-hmm. So it was on the radio. You heard it, and
shots have been fired in Texas.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
Okay. And what were your initial thoughts and feelings?
I went immediately to the White House.
So you weren't at the White House at that moment?
No, I was home. I was off.
Okay.
And I went immediately to the White House, and what can I do?
Right.
And there was probably 20 other agents that were off that day that also showed up.
Right. And when did you find out from the radio as well that he actually died when they announced it?
I don't recall, but probably. Yeah. It was a while before they announced his death. He was at Parkland for several hours before they announced it.
Right.
I don't recall where I was when they announced it.
Okay. And you've got some interesting firsthand experience. Talk about the limo that he was in, and it coming back up to DC, and you have your own thoughts about what really happened based on some firsthand evidence that you saw.
Yeah, he was in a Lincoln without a top, without a roof on it, and there's, in my opinion, I've never found reason to believe that anyone besides Oswald was the person involved. He had the perfect place to do it. I went up into the 6th floor of the book depository where he shot him from. He was you couldn't see him from where the motorcade was. He had an angle on the windowsill up for his gun, and he was hid in a corner. And he was at a point where he stood on the 6th floor, Kennedy was going downhill. So really, if you're looking through the sights of a gun, the target never moves.
Yeah. Okay. And when was the limo brought back up to DC?
I think the next day, if I recall.
Okay.
And I saw it in the garage. I think it was the next day I saw it in the garage. And
but it hadn't been cleaned up yet.
It had not been cleaned up yet. Parts of his skull were there. The whole right side of his head was shot off. That's where the bullet hit him. And he took the first one through the neck.
Right.
And that's when he grabbed for his neck.
Right.
And then when it hit his head, that's what he...
But another one of I've heard you tell this story, another one of the reasons that you believe it was only Oswald was there was no blood or anything else. Everything was forward. It was in the front seat. It was in the back seat. There was nothing on the trunk.
Nothing came from the grassy knoll.
Right.
Nothing came from the grassy knoll. And it was Oswald. Why he did it, who the heck knows?
Right.
He had a history of kind of being an eccentric type of guy, kind of a loser type of guy. but no one knows.
But if there had been a shooter from the grassy knoll, which was kind of in front and to the side,
They
there would have been something, blood or something
From a different direction.
From a different direction on the trunk of the car.
Everything came from above and in the direction of the car. Nothing came from across the other side. Nothing came any other way except the grass.
So the trunk of the car was that you saw
clean.
was spotless, right?
Yes,
so
it was all inside.
everything was inside the car.
In fact, you could almost see an outline of Bill Greer, the driver of the Kennedy's car, against the windshield.
Right.
That was his brain matter that was there.
Right. Okay. And what are your thoughts about involvement of the mafia?
I don't know. I heard so many rumors. People tell me that I talked to a couple of people that knew the assassin, and they said he was kind of an eccentric political guy. I don't know if anybody else was involved. I would think the Warren Report would have found him if there were, and they didn't find anyone else involved. Now, somebody might have set him up. I don't know that.
Yeah, but Ruby killing him, I mean, Ruby was mob connected.
No, Ruby was a different type of guy too. Worked at a pool hall.
Okay, all right. So
he liked JFK. He was a fanatic JFK fan.
So, there are theories that the mob felt betrayed because Kennedy, he arguably won because of support in Illinois of organized crime. Mm-hmm. So is it true that, or in your opinion, that the mob felt betrayed, or was there any evidence to suggest that?
I have no way of knowing the answer.
Okay. All right, so Kennedy's killed. Lyndon Johnson becomes, in fact, I'm going to stop here and pause it.